Good afternoon, and welcome to another episode of A Contagious Smile, where every smile tells a story. We have Dan Watkins with us today. He is the CEO and founder of All Four Seasons Garage Door. He is a family man, and I'm honored to actually call him a friend. I've known Dan now for several years, and one of his top priorities is safety and security, which I know so many of our listeners will resonate with. Dan, thank you so very much for finding the time to come on with us today. I know you're incredibly busy.
Yeah, Victoria, thanks for having me on. It sounds like a lot of fun. Hopefully we get some good information out to everybody listening.
Absolutely. Now, your company is family owned and has been operating for over 150 combined years. Is that with the garage?
Well, that's how much combined experience we have. We have actually been in business for 24 years, and it is a family business. And we've got sister, brother-in-law, nephews, mother working, and for instance, my mother has answered phones since the beginning, so she's about a 24-year vet in this business. But yeah, it's been a long road, and we like to think we treat our employees like family and our customers like family, and act like a true family business.
One of the things I absolutely love about your company is the fact that for a client who's going to receive a technician or an installer, you guys send out a bio sheet that not only shows their picture, but gives a little description about them. Dan, what made you decide to do that? That's a step above and beyond what you normally receive these days.
Well, listen, we probably started this about 4.5 years ago. We have a, pretty robust CRM system, which, incorporates that, but that was obviously a feature that we really liked. And I think, it's funny, just yesterday I was talking to one of my friends' wives where we had come out, to do garage doors, and that's exactly what she brought up. She said, I love the bio. I love to know who's coming to my house so I can tell that it's really who's, the company that's supposed to come up to the house, from a safety measure. And then there is just having that bio, you feel like you know the person a little bit, or there's some common ground to maybe even have a little conversation when you come out.
Yeah, and that's fantastic because especially with survivors of domestic violence and other types of abuse and special needs kids, you want to know who's coming out. You want to know something about them to give you your own sense of security, especially even from a woman's point of view. So, one thing that I know I talk to a lot with my family that I work with, and that's the survivors, is the importance of safety. And a lot of them have told me the importance of making sure their home is safe. Now, I would think without question that having a safe garage door would be an absolute must. So if they have to come home right away, they can make sure the door comes down. If they have to leave right away, they can make sure the door works. How does your company make sure that that happens just in general so that they can have their own peace of mind when they call you guys to come out?
Well, I think there's two things, right? I mean, there's just the general security of a door. A better door is going to be more secure. If you have a door with a stronger gauge of steel, like for instance, we have this door called the Heritage 3000. It is the strongest door on the residential market. You cannot find a door any stronger with any of the other manufacturers. They don't even make one that strong. To give you an idea, I know people might not know about gauge of steel, but the lower the number, the stronger the steel. And even when you get a double garage door where there's steel on both sides, most companies it's 27 gauge. This Heritage 3000 is a 24 gauge door. To give you an idea, on a small door, that's about almost 30 pounds of steel on the front. On a big door, you're talking 50 to 60 pounds of steel. I think anybody that hears that can tell that's a big difference as far as the strength of that door. So anything with steel on the front, steel on the back is going to be much harder for somebody to break into. But obviously we think the Heritage 3000 is great. And then if you look at some of the economy grade, those steel doors that are really flimsy, I mean, you can manhandle that door a lot more and kind of yank it out of place and kind of get into a house or bend the top. The other thing that people do to break into a garage door, they will try to maybe get a clothes hanger or something like that and go through the top. They bend the section back so they've got room for that hanger, and then they pull the red cord, the release cord, and that's what gets them into the garage. So obviously, if you've got something that just it's a front side and a back side of steel, or that stronger gauge steel, it's going to be much more difficult for them to get in there, or they might have to make a lot more noise to try to, dent that door up. So there's some real, durability issues as far as the door itself goes. If you've got an old wooden door, it was kind of that fiber board. It was the squares, and you could put your foot through one of those very easily, or a hammer or anything else, and it was just going to go right through, and that's going to begin to give you access into that garage again, maybe with a coat hanger or just crawling in through the square of the door. So those were very prevalent in our area anyways. We're still taking these down, even though they haven't been put up for almost, 20 years. But that's something to think about when you're thinking about your garage door, is the strength. Number two is the technology that's going on right now. So you have the capabilities of using Wi-Fi with your garage door opener. Well, what does that do? Well, it allows you to open and close your garage door from your phone. Okay. So that sometimes in an emergency, you need to open that door. Sometimes you might have left it open, and you can even get notifications about when it opens and closes. So, hey, what happened? No one's supposed to be home. That garage door went up. So that'll give you some idea of what is going on, at your house, even when you're not there. So that Wi-Fi is a big technological advancement in garage door openers. And, I think that's one of the things from a safety standpoint. There's a battery backup as well. So if the power were to go out, you still have the ability to open and close your garage door for a certain amount of time.
And that is something that All Four Seasons offers.
Absolutely, yeah. So we've got several motors that have that Wi-Fi capability and a battery backup for that matter.
Do you guys offer, what would you guys call it if you came out and just did a checkup, like a safety checkup? Do you offer something like that where we could call you out and have you just check on?
We do. We've got tune-ups that we can do on one or all of your doors, and that's something that probably should happen. I would say at least every other year. I mean, some people want to do it every year, but I would say at least every other year you want to make sure your rollers and your hinges and everything that's moving is lubricated the right way, so you're not going to have a problem. And then just having a professional take a look and see where there is a problem, or where there may be a problem pretty quickly, is another reason to do that. Because you also don't want to get stuck in your own garage, right, where you can't have access to your car, and that might be broken springs. So that's a really popular repair that we have, that everybody's springs are going to break. And I look at it like brake pads on a car. When you go in and the brake pad's bad on one side, you might have a little bit of life left on the other, but how much do you have? People always get them both done at the same time. And that's how we look at springs as well. We want to take care of it. Why pay the labor twice? In essence, the labor is a big part of the springs. And I can tell you, when you get stuck, when somebody is stuck in their house and they don't have access to their car because you can't lift your door up, it's so heavy that you can't lift your door up, you really feel like a prisoner in your own house. And if an emergency happened, to not have the ability to use your car, I think most people that are listening or watching, they can understand how that could be a really bad feeling.
Absolutely. And you guys are available 24 hours a day.
Pardon me?
You guys are available 24 hours a day. You do emergency calls too.
We are. We do emergency calls. We are ready whenever you need us, and even if that's very late at night or very early in the morning, we can get right out and make sure you don't feel like a prisoner in your own home.
You guys also do front doors.
We do front doors, and that's another security issue that really we do all kinds of entry doors, but we specialize on the front door side of things. And, when you start getting into different locks and deadbolts and, one or two deadbolts, or the type of hardware you're putting on your door, or really even just the type of door you have, how easy it is or hard it is to kick the door in. If somebody was trying to break through, it really does make a difference in those situations. And, it's the kind of thing, you always think about, you probably will never have to deal with it, but you want to make sure if you do have to deal with it, that you have that security. And that's what's really going to make you feel secure. And that's, that's where you're not worrying about that kind of stuff. Because you feel like if you've got a good front door with good deadbolts and something that's really sturdy, that you've got a lot better chance if somebody does try to break in.
Right. And I've met a lot of your technicians and installers, and they're also friendly and nice and clean. Where I know that other companies, I'm not going to say names, they'll come out and they're not as presentable. They're not, professional looking. And everyone I've ever met with your company is. And I think that says a lot. I've also done some research. You guys are very affordable in regards to the competition, and you guys have amazing reviews. You have fantastic reviews. Everybody just thinks you guys are 5-star across the board.
Well, I appreciate that, and that is something that did not happen by accident. I started this business, like I talked about with family. You want to treat you treat people the way you want to be treated, and it's really, I thought, if you just treat people really well, they're going to tell their friends and family and neighbor, and obviously it's going to create more business for you. But at the end of the day, if it's the right thing to do, it's the right thing to do. And I really believe that. We work really hard to make sure we're getting into our appointments on time, that we're being polite to people on the phone or in person, that we're sending somebody that you feel comfortable with in your home. Now, we may not be inside of your home, but your garage is still part of your home. And, if especially, women that are at home on their own, they really need to feel comfortable with, and every husband wants to make sure their wife does feel comfortable, because you are leaving them with a man that they don't know. And so the background checks, all of those things, it gives you a starting point when you hire somebody, but then you've got to show it every day, and you'll find out really quickly, because somebody's going to tell you, the customer's going to let you know if your guy's doing something that he shouldn't be doing. And I've always had good workers, but I've got to say, in the last 2 or 3 years, we quit putting up with certain things that we just probably shouldn't have put up with before. And when you really take it that seriously, that where somebody has to fit the profile exactly, and they have to behave a certain way every day, it really weeds out anybody that is not part of that culture. And I feel like right now we really have fantastic techs and installers and just good people. You feel really great about representing your company.
Yeah, I have to say, because everybody hears we have 3 podcasts. I don't know if you know that, but we have 3 podcast platforms, and the second one is Unstoppable, where we really talk about stuff going on in the world, and it's unfiltered. And my co-host is my husband, and everybody hears him, and they love him, and they always talk about him. And he always talks about his full-time job, but what people don't realize is that he works for you. And he loves it, and he loves working with people. And I've heard so many times he'll come home and say, they were so excited when I came over, knowing that they knew who I was when I came to the door, and that I had former law enforcement, former military, and that they felt safe. And he said that really made me feel better, knowing what my wife has been through, knowing her background of what she went through with her abuse. So it's I have to say, I think that he's my favorite employee next to you. I mean, I gotta show a little favoritism, but everybody in our contagious small world loves my husband. So, and he gets a lot of 5-star reviews for you guys.
He absolutely does. He's fantastic, and everybody loves him. And I know you know why, right? So
I do know why. I've got 20 plus years with him. I know why. I definitely
exactly.
Know. And the reason I bring that up, Dan, is because I know you personally, and you're an amazing family person. And I'm not saying that because we're on the air. You really are legitimately a family man, and that makes a big difference in today's time, because so many people aren't like that anymore. We've lost that in today's society, and that's really sad. We need that family business to come back. We need that companies that care about their individuals and their employees and their customers. And it's not just an invoice. It's not just an invoice number or a job number. It's a family thing, and you really do that. And I see it firsthand every single day.
Well, I appreciate that, and I love that people think that about me. I mean, to me, that's important. And unfortunately, I think you're right. I think this media and some of the stuff, they're just really trying to, put these narratives out there that, you know, the family isn't important, and these messages to people, it's really tearing up our culture, and you're seeing it happen every day, and to me it's disgusting, it's sad, and if you really look at what made this country great, it was family and faith, and all the things that really the love of our country, and the media is giving every single um, signal and message to destroy all those things, and you're seeing with your own eyes every day. You're watching it just crumble, and it's really scary.
Yeah. And another little shout out is, Michael is former military and law enforcement. And recently, September of last year, I went through an amputation. And you were amazing to my husband and myself. And just the way that everybody at all four seasons were, everybody kept checking on us, making sure we were okay. And I mean, that's not something you find in an employer anymore. And that's, goes with what you were just saying. And that's why I was so excited to have you on, because of the fact that it makes a huge difference. It's not like the other company that is gonna, like, you go get your oil changed and they're, oh, you need an air filter. Well, the car's brand new, you don't need an oil filter. They try to upsell you so that they can make more money, but you guys aren't like that at all. And that's why I really wanted to say thank you for all that you do. I know firsthand because I get to see it every day when my husband comes home. But I wanted to share that part because you guys do care. It is a family situation. It is a family company. Like I said, when I went through my amputation, you guys checked every day on me to see how I was doing. And that means more than you have any idea. And that I think the customers can see as well.
Well, yeah, again, I appreciate you even bringing that up, but I mean, to me, that's just the way life should be, right? I mean, and people do all this work for you. They work so hard for you, and but they have families, just like you do, and they've got life, and they got problems, and they've got all kinds of different things that go on. And I think just understanding that, is important, and just kind of being what I consider to be a normal person, right? These are things that normal people should be doing, and I'd like to think that we're, you walk in our office and you see us interact, and we're not, all about the way a company is, and all these ridiculous things that people are doing, and lawsuits, and just trying to create problems, and we're still just trying to be normal people that care about each other, and get to work and work hard. We do expect you to work hard. That we can't get away from work, because that's why you're in business. That's how everybody earns a living. But let's treat each other right, and let's be human beings, and let's laugh a little bit, and let's ask how the family's doing, and really care about it. So.
Yeah. Well, I high five you, but I can't. Using the hand. But I just want to thank you so much because people can call all four seasons and feel comfortable coming out. Have them come out and do a safety check. Have them even look at your front door. Let them give you opinions and thoughts. They're not there to upsell you in any way. They're there to make sure you feel safe and you are safe. And the technology that Dan was explaining earlier, with even having that capability on your phone, is amazing and invaluable to anyone, especially if you have the capability to do that with your phone and you have a special needs child and you have 11 pieces of equipment like I used to have with my daughter, and you could just push that button and have the door open when you're ready to go. That's amazing. That I wish they had that back then. But these are all technology things that you guys stay up on, and not to mention you're professional and clean cut and just polite and respectful and family oriented. And it is an honor for us to be a part of your family. And I want to thank you for taking the time to be on here with us today.
Well, thank you for having me, and we're honored to have you as part of the All Four Seasons family.
Thank you so much, Dan.